Well, thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching Business Nigeria. Has the deadline for the old Naira notes to seize as a legal tender draws very close. Of course, 31st of January. There is intense pressure on the Central Bank of Nigeria to extend the implementation date of the Naira redesign policy, as businesses in the country as well as citizens are facing multiple challenges having access to the new Naira notes, as most are resorting to various electronic payment channels to carry out their transactions on account of scarcity of the new Naira notes. Amid calls for the extension of the deadline of the Naira redesign policy, economic analysts have expressed dissatisfaction over the poor implementation strategy of the initiative by the Apex Bank. It will interest you to know that more than 1 month after the new Naira policy was inaugurated, that of the new Naira banknotes still persists, as many banks and automated teller machines and point of sales outlets are still dispensing the old Naira notes. Well, let's understand this and get more insights into this policy and, of course, some burning economic issues. I'm being joined live from our Abuja studios by Professor of Accounting at Nile University of Nigeria, Professor Ofili Ugwudioha. Prof, it's really good to have you join us on the show. Thank you for your time. Prof, can you hear me? We're live. Can you hear me? Prof, I don't know. Can you hear me? Well, we'll try to connect with our Prof so that we can get on the discussion as quick as we can. Prof, can you hear me now? Prof, go ahead to tell me, what is your reaction to this policy initiative by the Apex Bank? There has been mixed reaction to it. Go ahead and tell me what your position is around this.
Okay, thank you once again, and thank you for having me here. As things are going in Nigeria economic system, there are those who are in charge of monetary policy, and there are those who are in charge of fiscal policy. The monetary policy implementation of the economy is domiciled in central bank. Then, coming to the actual problem we have today of the redesigning of Nigerian Naira, which has a lot of mixed feelings. Some people say it's a good policy, some say it's not good policy. From my own understanding, it is the policy of the CBN to regulate the currency in circulation. It is also their duty to secure the policy in circulation. Then is their policy also to control the monetary policy issue, including controlling the amount of money in circulation. Then it is also a function of the CBN to use monetary policy to control inflation. Then we can also see in another dimension that it is the duty of CBN to also ensure the monetary policy implementation. These are the key functions of the CBN, which they have been empowered by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then I see them doing their job. Then there is criticism in the other side that it came at the wrong time, and that the period of implementation, or the period within the time the people have to return their money to the bank, is too short. But if you look at it as Nigerians are difficult to control. If I look at it from our own angle, even if you give this thing another 6 months, people will still complain. And imagine the monetary policy of cashless policy of CBN. Since that period, people hardly obey the cashless policy. Some stock money in their homes, having big vaults as if it is a company, so they can dispense any money they want. So CBN have seen that the money in circulation outside the bank is too much for this country. And this type of thing causes inflation. Inflation in itself does not only come by too much demand upon a certain goods and services. Inflation also comes when there is money in circulation that is not generated by the economic activities. And it is a naked truth to almost all Nigerians that most of the money in circulation, as I put it on my own, not less than 80% of money in circulation are not generated by economic activities. And any money that is not generated by economic activities causes inflation. Then, this is why people in other country or other clime don't like people to launder money into their countries. It is a very serious offense. If you bring in money that is not generated by the economic activities, either through money laundering or through, I don't know what I can say, or through fraud, or whichever one.
Prof, allow me to interject you and ask you this question. Prof, allow me to interject you and ask you this question. Yeah. My question will be very straight. The availability of this currency is the issue. On my way to the office today, queues on all ATMs around this locality, and that is what is happening across the country. Something is wrong. Fine, they want to change the notes. Why is it not available? That's the issue. Someone is not doing his or her job the way it should be done. Even the bank managers meeting with the House of Representative members yesterday agreed that there's supposed to be an extension. So that's the question.
Yes. Yes, thank you very much for this. I agree that CBN is not actually doing what they should do, because it's not enough to marshal out policy without following up the implementation. The scarcity of this Naira raises question on the part of CBN ability to manage the currency. I agree, because what is supposed to have been done by now is that from December 15, when you say that the money is out, from that day you stop reducing or even stop issuing out old notes. So that from that day to now, what you receive when you go to bank will be new notes. And if this had been available, people will not complain. So I do agree that the implementation has problems. But I also say that Nigerians are the type of people that even if you give them another 6 months, some of them who have billions upon billions in the house will not even finish bringing it in. And I'm not saying that the government does this because of this, but it is also a part of controlling the economic activities, making sure that the money in the economy are directed towards the economic activities. I don't see why I should have money in my house from October, when this instruction is given, to end of December, then I will not give it out to the bank. Then the issue of collecting another one is a different ball game. Because if you are doing a genuine business, your money should flow through the bank. You take money you need for the business today and transact. You issue checks and do your business. And if you need more, you go back. I believe that Nigeria will have a genuine complaint if they go to bank on 1st of February, and they cannot collect new notes. For now, they tell you return. Why not return first? So, yes, try to manage yourself with the type of people we are. And you should also know that Nigeria is a difficult country to control.
So with the present situation, and let's even talk about those in the rural areas where they are saying agent banking, or their agent bankers will attend to them and change all of these funds. How do you see this affecting businesses? Nigeria is still a cash transaction-based economy compared to a total cashless economy. Do we have that infrastructure to handle a cashless, totally cashless economy at this time?
Thank you. Thank you for this. You say that we are still a cash-based economy in spite of the government effort to bring us to cashless economy. This is one of the reasons. Then, coming to the people in the rural area, they are equal to those in the city, in the sense that they have the outlet of collecting their money, and they have the outlet of depositing their money. And there's not so much money circulating in the rural area as it is in the urban area. People are just using rural dwellers as excuses. I'm just telling you the truth. If you go home now and check the old man, old women, all these cassava sellers, all these yam sellers, how much money is with them? Even if they have, there is POS everywhere. You can deposit it there, you can withdraw there. The only challenge, serious problem we are going to have is on first. On first, you go to the bank, you cannot collect your money. That is when we can now put much pressure and serious pressure on CBN. Because they say return before 31st. If I have, I will return it before then. If I return by 31st, on 1st I go back to collect new currency, even if they don't give me on the 31st. So there are things we need to help government to work on.
Well, interesting stuff. Well, as we now move on, of course, the general elections are ahead of us, and that's another big topic which everyone is talking about. What sort of monetary policies do you think we need to institute as we expect a new government? The Central Bank of Nigeria has pushed MPR to 17.5%, which everyone is saying was really not expected. Are these the kind of monetary policies we'll be pushing on as we move on in 2023?
No, come again, please.
Now, I asked you, I'm asking you if what should be the focus of whoever becomes the next CEO of Nigeria with regards to monetary policies. What sort of monetary policy do you expect from the next administration? That's on one side. We see the CBN increasing rates to also address inflation, and it seems not to be working. It's a twin.
Okay. Thank you very much for this. I told you earlier, Tolu, can you hear me?
Claire, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Loud
I told
and
you
clear,
earlier
yes.
that
I can hear you.
Yeah, I told you earlier that some of the causes of inflation is the money flown into the country without economic activities. In order to control inflation, this money that are gotten from non-economic activities have to stop. They have to stop. And the only way government can stop it is this means. Because if you have genuine economic activities that your money comes from, you are free to put it in the bank. If you don't have, you will be afraid. That's one. You will be afraid of pushing it into the bank because the source of the income, you have to declare it. So it's a way of controlling the inflation. But it's not the only way that inflation can be controlled. Then, coming to the monetary policy of raising the MPR, I have always said that raising the MPR is not a tool for reduction of inflation in Nigeria or for reduction of money in circulation in Nigeria, considering the fact that the money in circulation in Nigeria, about 80% of them come from non-economic activities. And if this money comes from non-economic activities, if you control 20%, what about the 80%? Then raising the MPR to 17.5 from 16.5. Remember, they raised it from 14 to 15, 15.5 to 16.5, now 16.5 to 17.5. It is killing the business activities. And it is in the business that economic activities thrive. If you put this thing, MPR at 17.5, it all means the bank will add their cost of fund, which plus or minus is between 6 to 10%, depending on the bank. By the time they add it, you are getting 25 to 27% of borrowing rate, the minimum. You can borrow at the maximum almost up to 30, 35. And by the time you deprive businessmen or small or big businessmen from borrowing money to do their businesses, you have destroyed the economy. This is not a way, really. When you say you are asking people to come in, your president is going over the whole world, asking people to come and invest in Nigeria, and they look at this type of unstable policy, that every month, every quarter that the CBN sit down, they will bring out a policy that is very detrimental to business. And when you hear Nigeria looking at ease of doing business, they don't compute all these things. They compute immigration or this and that visa, which is the least thing. These are the key things that make ease of doing business. Your borrowing rate, your taxation, your security of lives and property. If these things are not there, no matter how you improve in your manipulation of ease of doing business, people will not come. This is the truth. I don't support that policy.
Good. Of course, you know that it will impact debt negatively on. I think, Prof, we're going to have a date on this show. I will speak basically on that day around the monetary policies of the central bank, analyze them strictly on that day. I know there will be lots of submissions from you with regards to that. Prof, that's much time can take. I must thank you so much for an interesting conversation. Professor Ofili Ugwudioha is a professor of accounting. He's with Nile University of Nigeria. Thank you so much. See you and do have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again.